Smoke on the skyline, fade into gray. Dreams of tomorrow slipping away. Pixel delusions fall to the ground. In this concrete jungle, silence will sound. Staring at screens, wishing for a life. Caught in a loop, the edge of a knife. Digital nights turn to shadows at dawn. City lights flicker, and then they are gone. Against all odds, we rise the machines. Chasing the ghosts in artificial dreams. Breaking the code, rewriting the law. With every pulse, we ask for more. Ooh, oh, yeah, yeah. Brushes replaced by circuits of steel. No soul to capture, no heart to feel. Eyes of glass, searching for truth. Lost in the currents of manufactured youth. Flick of a switch, a moment's spark. Navigating tides through light and the dark. Winds of change, whisper our names. Journeying alone through this AI game. Against all odds, we rise the machines. Chasing the ghosts in artificial dreams. Breaking the code, rewriting the law. With every pulse, we ask for more. New world order. Yeah.
Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Dr. Juaina, and I will be your moderator for this session. To provide you with an overview of our session today, the webinar will begin with a sharing session by our esteemed speaker, followed by a question and answer session. As you may know, today we have the privilege of listening to a presentation by our academic staff member, Mr. Muhammad Faizal bin Abdul Jalil. Mr. Faizal is an expert in the multimedia field with a background in multimedia communication and visual arts. He started off his career in 1999 working as a character designer, then jumping into production work, eventually going into research and design for 3D animation. In multimedia production, he was majorly involved in concept, illustration, design, as well as art direction, and has had exhibitions of his artwork as well. So today he will be sharing on a fascinating topic titled Against All Odds, Navigating the Shift from Digital Creation to AI-Generated Visuals. So without further ado, I will now hand the floor over to my colleague, Mr. Faizal.
All right, good morning, everyone. You guys can hear me there, right? Check, check, double check, mirror check, yak. Okay, guys, okay. Okay, welcome to our webinar, okay, about Against All Odds. All right, basically that I've shared with you guys like a few things about what I've done basically recently, okay, in order to develop basically my visual concept on developing those ideas of illustration and animation at the same times. Thank you also, Miss Dr. Juaina and my team, Arief, Lutfi, at the same times, who actually working and assist me on this webinar, okay? And of course, okay, our bosses, okay, Mr. Cheng, Miss Diana, and also Juan Aquila, and the rest of the crew, okay, to help me out, okay, to work on this particular kind of event. All right, so that's basically some introductions basically from me. And thank you also Dr. Jenna, who actually have a very short introductions of myself. All right. So, according to the basically these titles about against on odd, okay, we're talking about this navigation shift between the digital creations of AI generated visuals there. So generally and basically there, okay, I'm working with a lot of traditional kind of medias, and my kind of what we call that disciplines were basically came from graphic design. So from graphic design kind of disciplines, you guys can see my screen, right? So generally, Raki, I've been working out with a lot of illustrations, character design works. 3D animation, basically, I actually have a basics kind of what we call it knowledge on 3D animation, but I work a lot with 3D people, okay, back in the days to develop a concept and ideation, especially on design process, on the pre-production kind of works. That's why actually more towards to the works on 3D, but I didn't actually make 3D kind of animations. So my forte is basically in 2D animations, character design, illustrations, and I also love music at the same times. All right, so to further on this kind of what we call that topic itself, I actually create this kind of what we call that, I found out basically like this navigation of shift. Creation in AI visualization is all about 8 key elements, okay? Because when it comes to develop this kind of ideation of AI directly, because we have to embrace basically this kind of application, because one of the things that I find, okay, AI is making us understand in the role of the AI creations, blending the traditional between the digital creations, embrace, mastering, ethical consideration, adaptation, all this kind of thing. Basically, like if you take a look back again, is all about how shift things from the traditional medias into the digital kind of works there, right? But at the same time, I'll always emphasize for my student basically to improve a bit more further on your foundations, especially on your design foundation before going to create with AI. AI is a part of the works that basically we can actually develop more better kind of ideas and visualize more better kind of developments of concept designs before we get to work into the real projects. So when I actually have working with all this kind of traditional way of working, even though right now, when we work with those digital kind of illustrations kind of subjects, we still basically apply all this kind of traditional kind of way of working into those digital medias. But the thing that make it more interesting, okay, about these AI kind of creations, other than these 8 kind of elements that I find quite very interesting for us to work, right, is how basically we actually can develop it more further kind of ideations that based on the visual developments. Because I never thought basically that I'm going to driven over to develop this kind of creation, because I have worked a lot before with those traditional kind of way of workings. But when I actually have the chances to apply this kind of knowledge with my students, okay, for the few semesters there, okay. So it starts when I actually have this kind of I have this kind of subject we call conceptual visualizations, if I'm not mistaken there, okay. At that time, basically, we have to create an assignment that based on the web design kind of landing page. So when I have this kind of assignment with my students, I find out my students have a lot of problem to visualize their ideas and to develop a very good aesthetical kind of visuals that can be applied on their landing page for their websites. So I told them, okay, why don't you try to implement basically this kind of ideations into basically using AI there, okay? So this is the images that I actually create AI by shifting, okay, from AI into traditional kind of application like Adobe Photoshops. Before I actually work with this kind of visual itself. So basically, this is the original kind of prompt that create using a clean AI that been made by my students, okay? So this visual basically created by original kind of prompts, no visuals that related from there. So I asked my students basically to create a very simple prompt. Create basically a corporate kind of young guy with a trimmed beard, for example, like that. You're wearing a corporate suit and standing and holding basically the arms there, right? So the visual from those AI been made randomly, basically using that kind of prompt into those visual that I see from there. So accidentally, I saw the visual image of myself can be created using that kind of prompts, okay, from the student kind of explorations. So from here, I'm using basically those Photoshop to adjust a little bit more further and do a bit more modifications, using back again my skill on working with the traditional kind of digital tools. So from here that I saw there's a lot of potential that we can develop to develop our visual from from here to the futures, right? Okay, to extend it to the futures later on, there, right? So that's why when I saw basically this kind of potentials, I start to begin to study a bit more further from here. So what I can do there, right? Okay, so I try to explore a bit more further, but those using that kind of visual that we have, especially this character there, right? I come up with this kind of ideas how to create those landing page using basically those Photoshop applications, but not AI application from Photoshop. Okay, traditional kind of what we call that process to develop into this particular kind of landing page. So for me, there, okay, in order to enhance basically the visual presentations for any kind of design kind of developments, we need basically both of these application or knowledge basically to enhance further on our presentations there. So from this particular experimental and visual kind of process, it helped basically the student to engage more further kind of their ideation, to embrace more further on their presentation on that particular projects. But we have basically these situations there that I find out when it comes to work with this particular kind of process. When the student doesn't have enough kind of understanding on their basic foundation of principle design and element of design together, they're right. They will basically have a hard time basically to compose, to manipulate their ideas, to use basically the aesthetical kind of understanding to develop into their works. There has to be a loophole, okay, when it comes to develop those design there, because they rely too much on the visual aesthetic of the AI itself. So for me, in order for you guys to shift, for us basically to shift from traditional kind of way to AI, we can actually use only 100% to work on that. Practically, you have to learn also, we have basically to learn also how to develop our ideas first using our traditional kind of sketchbooks, and also how to develop and using basically our sense of design based on the principle kind of designs kind of what we call the values from there. Okay, so this is something that I actually find quite interesting in the early stage when I start to exploring a bit on AI, but this one is made by my student itself there, right? So after all that kind of developments, I tried to search a bit more further on Midjourney. But the thing is, I didn't actually work too much on Midjourney because for me, those kind of applications quite complicated for me there, okay? Because when I actually open up Discord there, okay, there's a lot of traffic, okay, that happens on that Midjourney, okay, that I can actually focus there. But what are the things that I've been exploring on Midjourney itself when I sketch basically my ideas right here? Okay, this is basically one of those ideation that I create from my digital sketch, and then I mixed up all these kind of ideations together into this particular kind of characters, kind of body poses there, right? So at that time, basically, I want to make one of the posters for Chinese New Year's last year, basically, okay, using basically this rabbit kind of characters. So I'm using Midjourney to combine all these three elements together to create a right kind of poses that I want for those what we call the characters kind of pose. But still, basically at the time, it's a very new things for me. So I just randomly explore, and this is basically the best kind of poses I can get at that times to work with these kind of applications there. So the result when I combine my kind of Photoshop kind of skills and also those Midjourney characters there, right? This is the result that we can get from there. So I'm not using 100% AI at that stage, okay, in order for me to execute my design works. But I combining together with these Photoshop, Adobe applications kind of skills, and also the design kind of understanding with the AI kind of generated images there. So for me, okay, what I find out, those visuals quite outstanding because in our traditional kind of way, if you want to create all these kind of visuals there, okay, especially on the rabbit character itself, we need to have a proper kind of set of skills there to develop the models and riggings and mappings at the same times. So it takes time there. So using AI, we can actually speed up basically more on our times. So this is basically the second attempt of working with AI and combining basically with my traditional kind of skill from here. Okay, and next thing is Rocky, the AI kind of ideations there, okay? For me, there, right? Okay, AI is good to conceptualize basically our visual ideas. So it's not basically doing only final works, but at this stage. But we never know basically, okay, in the future, because we give around 6 or 1 years there, okay? Maybe AI can do a complete kind of works, okay, without basically applying or do basically some traditional kind of way of working anymore. But basically, is for the professional kind of usage. For for what we call that, for the student itself, I always emphasize to work in the traditional kind of way process first before you're going to use AI to visualize some of the ideas from there. So for me, okay, at this stage, when we're creating those AI kind of works, it get basically a fast result. I can get basically more fast result, outstanding outcome, the things that I cannot do or might going to be difficult to create from the past kind of projects. I actually can create more better kind of directions or ideations to get from there before I can give some people or some of the teams to develop before further from those pre-productions kind of works, especially when you work with the character itself, we can get more clear kind of ideas there, where the directions of those works are going to be. So advantage of this, what we call that, you can take this kind of visual creation as a part of advantage for us, basically with more further on our understanding, because normally when it comes to develop basically this kind of visual kind of works, a lot of people have a lot of ideas there. How to communicate all these kind of ideas together. Okay, one of the best way, if you have one idea, okay, you try to create any kind of problem from there. So from that visual, you can actually explain a bit more further where the directions are going to be from here, okay? So other than that, I find out from this conceptualized kind of ideas using AI, it's all about how varieties, the option that I have. So I will share with you guys later on, okay, the process that I've been developed, okay, for the past, okay, 1 month and a half, okay, the result they can get to develop this kind of ideas, but they look a bit more like a final kind of results, okay? So other things from there, okay, we can extend also our visionary of art directions. That means whatever that I want, basically, okay, as art directors, I can actually visualize them first before I'm going to present it basically back again to the investors, to the team later on, okay, to have a certain kind of clear kind of understanding there, where the project or this animation, for example, are going to be, and overcome the limitations. And you guys will know that, okay, most of you guys also are practitioners. Our skills has limitations. To develop a certain kind of skills need years there to master the, okay. Even though working with a gesture drawing kind of what we call that style there, right, okay. When we work this, what we call that gesture drawing kind of style there, right. So our skills there, we need years there to develop them. Looks easy, but it's not that easy for us to work there, okay. If you don't have the kind of determination to practice them back. So all this kind of AI will give a bit more, overcome all these kind of limitation. For example, like me, I'm working with 3D a lot, but I didn't actually apply or skillful enough to work with the 3D applications. So the ideation that have very basics there, right, to works. But with these AI kind of creations, I actually can create a finalization kind of AI kind of, I call 3D AI kind of generated images in order for me to communicate with my kind of animators in the future, right? That's basically the best thing about the shifting behind this ideation on work. But you need to have the knowledge at the same time and experience that works on it. So other than that, it's a more economical. Okay, nowadays a lot of production works need to cut the budget or reduce a bit more kind of budget from there. So in order for us to where the pre-production works, we can actually minimal the costs, but at the same time, get an effective kind of visual from here. And what else there, okay? The times. So before this, we cannot value times. Most of the production kind of costs. People always thought, okay, people just value the outcome only, but not times. But using AI nowadays, time is very important there, okay? In order for to see whether you guys can actually buy or basically bear the cost of time to develop all these kind of creations, because AI still basically not stable enough to consistent all the visual kind of what we call the repetitions. But maybe, like I said before, okay, around 6 to 1 years, okay, maybe we will see the AI can generate a bit more consistent kind of what we call that visuals there. And that time, basically, again, we can have a more better kind of what we call that way, producing a short film or projects, okay, that related to those kind of visual kind of development from here. All right, so conventionally, okay, we're using all these kind of applications, okay, to work on our visuals. But right now, okay, from this kind of what we call the experience that I have, I actually create all these kind of visuals previously using all these adult applications. Okay, traditionally it works on this kind of comics, mixed up with all these kind of visuals together. But I'm using also the process that AI actually have been working on before, using a lot of reference there, getting information with a lot of resources before I create all these kind of visuals. So for me, AI using the same methods. They collect all those data and they come up with all those kind of visuals that we actually cannot actually apply or cannot actually get in a more quick and fast kind of way that it works. All right. So the next thing is right now, okay, when I come to develop those kind of ideas, this is basically some original ideas that I create using my technical kind of skills. Okay, even though these caricatures, they're right. So from there, basically, they're okay. We also use these traditional kind of application of 3D, right? Autodesk Maya, 3D Max, and Blender, they're right. But still, for me, all these applications are going to be useful in order to create real productions later on, okay? But for the pre-production works itself, we need basically AI to visualize basically our what we call the art direction and idea first before we to launch basically into the production kind of works. All right. So we actually have this experience there, okay? Last month basically on the Kerala SEF project, but this is not AI lah. But how basically we start to develop basically these characters conventionally and what are the challenges that we have. Okay, right here, right now, okay, normally when we design the characters, okay, we have to start with sketch and I have to start also to develop all these model turnaround back again traditionally before I'm going to give to the 3D kind of people to work on it to model them back. So after I design all these kind of characters based also for some of the references that I have based on the resources there, right? So then we start to create the model out of it. So this model been created by Mr. Abid Safwan, one of my colleagues. And of course, okay, the rigging and the animations came from Dr. Juaina herself, okay? So to create all this kind of traditional kind of rig, it takes time. Sometimes a few days, sometimes a few weeks that works. But using AI nowadays to visualize the concept, we need only a few minutes there to work on it. That's basically the good thing about it. And of course, okay, when it comes to music itself, okay, I used to play a lot and compose a lot of music using Acid Pro. And for those who are actually using what we call that Apple's the right key, they used to use GarageBand to compose the music. But in AI nowadays, we can actually produce musics in a split second. So we don't have to come to work on that. And the music also look pro enough to work on that. All right, so this is a few kind of what we call that, those applications that basically that most people use to develop the visuals there. There's a lot of things that are outside there, okay? But recently, I actually have explored these 1, 2, 3, and 4 applications there to create the whole kind of visuals there, right? So I'm starting to exploring, okay, Suno AI, for example, to create my music. So the music is quite impressive there, okay? And then the visual for the visuals, I'm using ideogram to create the visuals using prompt there, guys. Okay, I'm not actually draw anymore there, okay, at this stage lah, but I'm still doing the drawing for other kind of things. But to exploring basically this application to develop basically my work recently, I try to explore all these 100% using AI at first, because I want to see the potential of working on it before we're going to do something else in the future. Right? So I'm using ideogram, okay? People use Clean AI to create those visuals and some of the application that I saw there, okay? But the reason I using ideogram because ideogram give me what I want when I actually create a prompt and give more kind of options for me to explore between the 3D Pixar animation styles and the cartoonic kind of style to work on, because I really interested to work more on the cartoon style rather than realistic kind of works there, right? Because they give me more fun to explore the variety kind of what we call that ideations or emotions and actions that based on that particular kind of styles. So high order, okay, Minimax high order, okay, AI. This is basically one of those applications that I use to create emotions. So these three applications, basically, if you mix them up together, you can create an outstanding kind of visual kind of concept for animations or video music there. So CapCut is also one of those editing applications that I actually recently used, okay, to compose the whole projects together. So in a way they're okay, because to tell the truth, okay, even though I'm working with AI there, okay, or using this kind of digital media a lot, but I actually one of the person who doesn't have a lot of privilege to use a high-end computer of myself direct. So to solve basically this kind of issues that I have, okay, or maybe the difficulty or challenge that I have there, right? So when I'm starting to explore this AI, the result that I can get from that particular kind of visual that I want, it look more outstanding than I'm using the traditional kind of application like After Effects, Premieres, and I can get a fast result from that. I don't know about you guys there, okay? But for me, this is the one of the way that I find quite very interesting as to create a direction for any project, especially animation or music video in the futures. Okay, we can take advantage of these applications in order for us to develop those kind of standing kind of presentation or works, or at least if we have to apply for some grants maybe in the futures, they're right. So to show basically original kind of ideas, this is something that we actually can work, okay, and exploring the okay, without having a lot of troubles. We have a lot of high-end kind of computers there. Okay, this is very, very interesting there, guys. I'm also never thought basically I'm going to explore all this stuff there, right? But when I actually, I don't know, okay, where I get the sparks, but when I actually get, but one thing for sure, because I love music a lot. So when I actually saw what Suno can do, so I start to create a lot of my music using Suno. So that means, okay, whatever that I want before, because I used to have a band when I was younger, right? But we can actually complete basically our things, because the reason is because there's a lot of challenges that we have at the times. But Suno actually give all the things that I want at the moments, okay? In order for me to achieve basically the main kind of activity that I want for my creative kind of works. So that just say, okay, I have this kind of proposals there. I want to create back again my band that I made that I actually have before, but this time I'm going to use the virtual kind of what we call that virtual kind of band instead of me basically performing the racket, because you know, okay, we're too old there to perform the right, huh? So I still have that kind of edge of passions the racket to work with it. So let's just say I want to create a proposal to create a virtual band called Rebel Crew. That's basically the original names at the times. So to animate to create animated hip hop visual music band. So if I want to create all these kind of ideations visually, right? So I need basically people to work with me, but using I don't need basically all this kind of stuff at the moment, lah, right? To work on it. So what I can do right here, I actually can gather all these kind of AI applications. I start to do some research a little bit more further and create back again the music that I want, even though most of the application that I use right now is a free kind of applications. I didn't actually subscribe yet, guys. Because why? Because it's not basically a real project yet. Once basically, hopefully they're okay, in God's wills, we actually can launch these projects formally directly. Maybe I will start to subscribe directly because I know there's a big potential to set up the works, but I don't want to bear my kind of budget at the time to work on that. All right, guys. Okay, let's just say this is my abstract proposal from there. So I had all these kind of ideas. How to visualize them first? People want to see the result fast nowadays. So the best way to work on it is by working with AI. Okay, this is basically my first visual that I create using ideogram by doing a few number kind of what we call that prompt that explain about the characteristic of the character itself. And of course, if you guys can see, the characteristic is based on myself, all right, and my friend at the time there. So I create all this kind of visual identity based on one person into the visual characters. For me, directly, those who actually say, why you have to obsess to draw yourself or to visualize yourself. A lot of artists basically in this world, guys, they will start to visualize something that based on their own personalities. That's basically the truth, okay, about those creations, visual creations there, okay? So you need to create your own identities from there. So I try to create my identities based on my prompt and visualize back again ideas from here. So all these kind of elements is based on what I like to do when I was young, okay? So I can visualize them back again nowadays using AI applications. So this is basically one of the first visuals that I create using AI, ideograms, in order for me to visualize the cover album on this particular visual projects, right? So from here, I try to come up with a few number kind of visuals back again using ideogram. So if you look back again, the ranking, I try to get more consistent on those visuals, but still basically cannot get consistency. Maybe because I'm not using the fully subscription on the application, but it's okay for me because this is a visual concept. All right. So we do what we can to explore more further from there. So a lot of way that we can approach. And of course, if I want to make all these kind of individuals, okay, traditionally, I need more time there to work. At least I will spend one day or a few hours to work. But with AI kind of applications, I can create all this kind of thing in a few minutes. If my computer is quite powerful enough directly, I actually can create a few seconds on all these visuals there by using a few number kind of information about the prompt. About the prompt itself, you can actually do whatever you can. You can use ChatGPT, and of course, okay, one of our colleagues, Dr. Mai, basically introduced me the Jenny I, the kind of applications. So it helped basically to create another few prompts, okay, in order for you guys to work with your kind of informations and to give back again to ideogram. So all this kind of stuff basically quite interesting there, guys. But of course, okay, when we create those AI, all right, we have to do some adjustment, okay? I did a lot of adjustment from those visual itself before I can get enough kind of look and feels like the thing that I want. So normally I'm using basically like Liquify to adjust a bit more further from there. So the character itself, okay, for example, I have one character's name Freeze there, okay, Mr. Freeze there. So if I want to create this visual itself, the visual kind of concept, so to create those kind of features look like the person that I want there, right, okay? So this is something that I actually work together, okay, using those ideograms. So I have saved my time to develop those model turnaround, okay, and some visual kind of ideas and the styles or the 3D animations, okay, to those projects, okay? And hopefully this kind of what we call the visual kind of documentation will help me basically to access more further on the presentation in the futures there, okay, to develop these particular projects. All right, so I want you guys to have a look the results that based on these 3 applications that I use. So we have around 10 minutes to okay, hopefully we can join from there. Okay. So I create my own YouTube, okay, for the past I think 10, 15 years. So but I didn't activate this kind of account there before. But now, when I actually have this privilege using AI, I can create more better kind of result from here. You guys can see the screen, right? Okay. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. Okay. For normally when I talk to those classes, okay, I spend around 2 hours or 3 hours there, okay. So I have to speed up my time a bit, right? So I keep it kind of rushing. So this is basically some results that I want to share to you guys, okay, how it works. Using a Suno AI for the music, ideogram the visual images, and of course animations using basically the motion using Minimax Howlio, and of course okay, CapCut for video editing. Very interesting kind of inspiration that I find recently. That, okay, this is one of the music that I create. Right? So enjoy here. No sound. Okay, wait up, guys. Let me check over here. Resume presentation. Okay, you can hear the music, right? Okay, let me play a bit more. Okay. Can you hear the music, right? Okay, thank you, Dexter. Okay, we play back again. All right, that's one of those examples directly of visuals style that we can actually produce. This is also another one again I can share with you guys over here. Where is it? Check the video itself. So this is basically officially this is my channel that I create. So this is one of the music video that I create based on the Suno and also those AI kind of animations there.
Teenage dreams, hearts are thumping, 4 friends shared desire to set the world on fire. With 6 strings and a drum beat strong, they pour their souls into every song. Powerhouse studio, the sacred ground, where hip-hop beats and rock sounds were found. This is our life, a tapestry of sound, woven with passion, forever unbound. From high school halls to the world unknown, we chased our dreams, we made them our own.
All right, that's also one of it, okay? So generally, all those kind of videos, okay, I create using AI 100%. That's to work on that. Okay, what else that I can share with you guys over here? The result from here, okay? This is also one of the things that the music that I find quite very interesting.
Right now, what about time? The real team of the fucking time. Yeah! The stories were told like these. This. Listen up, shut the fact up, better back up. Hey yo, sell out. Hoodlum is here with it, we didn't know what it's all about. Ooh, about rip off, ripping in no jiggy with it came without. Should've left no motherfucker politics shaking in the whole shit. In the road, sets of sailing on the dreams, grab flight. Different lands, different tones, but hearts ignite. They strung their lyrical rhyme in their mind, but life took a turn like a moonless sky. Any canvases will come and so bright. Chase the dreams in a different light. Our lit the path where shadows dance. Hit music whispers, they get their chance. The flowers make their fist of the storm. Passion unbound in every form. Born to create, be it sound or sight. Brothers' hearts blaze eternally bright. Boom, bro, bright.
All right, guys. Okay, that's basically some of those visual kind of ideas that I can share with you guys over here. If you guys can feel free, just subscribe basically the channel that I have here right now. Okay, I just want to complete basically our presentations. All right, I would love basically to share with you guys also how actually I create all these kind of ideations, okay, especially this one, okay, the ideogram, okay. Ideogram, okay, we give a lot of, they give basically a lot of variety of visuals there they can create. Even though when I was creating this alien character, when I was in the degree kind of project, okay, FYP kind of projects there, okay, in 1999. So I can come up with all these kind of ideas back again, that because the love of 3D animations, all right, so I actually start to create the whole visuals there using this 3D kind of application style. Then the prompt is very simple, the guys. All right, okay, the prompt is very simple there, right? Okay, so this is basically how I actually create those prompts. Okay, wait out for a while. Let me share with you guys back again. I think I didn't share this one there, right? So the way that I create this prompt is very simple there, guys. Okay, I just create some informations like this. You guys can see that, right? One alien is aliens, okay, with flabby, chubby, cute body, exotic space, blah blah blah, there, okay. And the keyword is 3D Pixar Disney art styles there. So that's basically one of the keywords that I use, okay, in order for me to create this kind of results. But of course, okay, in a way for us to develop a bit more further on our angle, shots, and direction there, you have to be more specific. Okay, to work on that. All right. So basically, it's fun, basically to explore. But as a students, you guys can explore them, but don't basically use only for the final, because we always want to see the process of working at the same time there, okay, in the futures there, in order for you guys to develop your works. But for the practitioners there, okay, it's a good kind of way, tools for you guys to develop those kind of skills there later on there, okay, and also the way that you can present it, those works there, right. Other than that, okay, let me check for you guys over here. Okay, if I want to share another kind of what we call the application like this, Suno there, for examples over here. Okay, Suno is very simple kind of applications. If you're using the free versions, but you have to know a bit kind of knowledge of music, genre, styles, or what we call that, equipments or materials there, okay, that you're going to apply, okay, on your works, okay. For me, okay, this is basically a very direct kind of applications there. Okay, you can see basically a lot of music that I create right here. So even though we can use Malay music, you can actually use English, of course, right, okay, for the lyrics. And you also create also some Chinese version of music, of lyrics also, to explore on these applications. So to create them is very simple there, guys. Okay, you just can create some descriptions, okay, customs, lyrics, all right, and then work on that. Okay, guys, okay, basically that's my presentations, okay, because we're running out of times. If you have any kind of inquiries or whatever that you want to ask in the futures, okay, wait up, please basically let me know there, right? Basically my slide just now there, okay, miss out the slide there, right? So hopefully you guys can get enough information from here. All right, so thank you very much. And we headed into the question, right? Q&A.
Yes. So thank you very much, Mr. Faizal, for delivering such an informative, engaging, and timely presentation on this trending topic. Now, I would like to open the floor for question and answer session. Please feel free to share your thoughts and questions with Mr. Faizal. Okay, uh, we can start now. If anyone has any question, you can use the mic to speak, or you can leave your question in the chat box. Okay, do we have any questions to start with? Okay, I have a question. So I will start first. So Mr. Faizal, as you know about AI, the integration of AI in traditional digital artworks. There are, of course, negative views, positive views, and there are those who are on the fence. Okay, I would like to know your personal view on the integration about this matter, if it's possible.
The negative effect, is it?
And anything according to your personal views.
My personal view, okay. Normally, I always embrace, for me, I love to embrace all these new technologies as long we actually can apply the fundamentals that based on our knowledge that we gain from the past experience. That's the thing, because I find that, as I mentioned just now directly, when I actually experiment this kind of application with my students, uh, most of the students really can develop good engagements, kind of engaging kind of visuals when using AI. But when it comes their fundamental way of approaching basically the composition, the layout, and how to balance up between those elements together in, for example, one particular poster, right? They kind of doesn't have that kind of understanding there. So for me, AI is only to give a bit more extent on our visuals. But if you're not good enough in video designs, your knowledge is basically is not that good enough there, okay? It won't help you guys to improve a bit more further from there. But in terms of business wise, nowadays people using AI to get more fast results. But they never thought basically AI also have a cost, to bear the cost, which is basically our times. So that's basically the thing that I find that right from that particular kind of what we call the ideations that work in AI. Yeah. Is it answering the questions?
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Okay.
Anyone else there, guys, ask questions?
Can we get questions from the
Okay,
audience?
we got some Vanessa. Do you think that we will ever be replaced by AI? No. Exactly no. This is not a Terminator movie there, guys, okay? But we never know that, right? Okay? I don't know, right? Okay, about the futures. If I can go, if I have the time machines, I would love to go there, right? Okay? Because most of my music basically came from that time there, okay? Kind of what we call that genres. So I don't believe that we're going to replace by AI. But the thing is right now, the best way for you guys to prepare yourself there, okay? Prepare your strong kind of knowledge foundations on your skills there first. I think Vanessa is one of my students there, right? Okay, and you have basically that particular skill that I saw. You can draw well, you can design well, there, okay? So basically, if we people like us who have that kind of skills, if those kind of talent, those kind of thing cannot, don't take it from us, right? Okay, during our lifetimes, we still can use AI as a part of advantage to visualize our ideas there. As for me, there, okay, I experience a lot, okay, when we work with the human itself, okay, when you want to develop ideas, a lot of people have a lot of challenges, responsibility, and time that works. So in a way, right now, if I want to visualize my ideas there, okay, in a very speed time there, in a more quick time there, okay, I can use AI directly to work on that. If you seem to see there, okay, those the video that I create, I actually create those kind of videos less than a day, basically. Okay, uh, despite basically my busy hours teaching, demonstrate with my students, those who actually know me well, there, right? But I can actually get, maybe if I want to go to sleep at night, okay, around 12 to 2 o'clock, 3 hours, 2 hours there, okay, I can explore using this AI to create the video that I want. And I can actually complete the whole presentations or the video that I want in a very short time there, okay? That's basically AI can do for me at the moment, right? So I think it's an advantage for us as a practitioner to work, but don't rely too much if you don't have that kind of knowledge to work on it. But you can explore a part of a way to extend a bit more further on your creative process there, okay? That's basically what I saw using AI. So don't worry so much. Okay. Hui Tan there, right? Huh? Human talent remain essential. Yes, that's right. Ponchila. We got fully AI generated Christmas ad from Coca-Cola. Yes, of course. Okay. So that's basically what we can actually solve, okay? And of course, okay, during basic day, because I actually using AI is quite in a very short period of times. during basically the semester break, okay, we have privilege to basically do our online kind of sign in there, right? Okay, so I take this kind of privilege to explore a bit more further from there, right? It's good. That's why, okay, when I'm exploring all these kind of applications, it's not basically only for me, okay, because I want to share something later on for the student itself, to make sure basically when the student actually want to create some things in the futures, okay, they can mix up the ideas of working with adopt application tools in AI together to work on that. Normally, when I look into students kind of, especially video kind of video kind of short films, okay, you most of the students doesn't bear enough to brave enough basically to mix up all this element of multimedia together. So the way basically we can do in the futures, hopefully we can mix up all these videos, the traditional kind of conventional videos kind of shooting and also editing and mixed with AI kind of elements. Okay, this basically the thing that's quite interesting for us to work, right? Anyone else there? Do you think that okay? That's Vanessa, there, right? Anyone else want to ask any questions? Oh, Chitong, what is your thought on companies now tends to hire senior designer cost, but the juniors job they can use AI generated as a good quality with lower costs? How do you suggest to us to break through that bottleneck if we need experience to become a senior designers? Okay, this is based on my experience. When I create my own portfolios, okay, to find jobs, okay, previously, I didn't rely too much on my assignments that I create during my studies there, right? I always create extra job or extra portfolio for myself. So the best way for you to fight or to overcome basically all these kind of issues, because nowadays your generation, your generations there, okay, have a lot of access, a lot of information, visual, sample, and whatever that you can. So you need to always create something for yourself instead of you just slave yourself to work with your assignments. All right, assignments is one thing that you have to come up with. Basically, you can get basically your what we call that CGPA. You can get marks, evaluation from there. But what's next after that? A lot of students nowadays, they don't have any kind of passion enough to develop further. Just look at me. I just want to have become a living example there. Okay, I'm actually teaching. You know, basically, okay, most of my clique know my kind of credit hours there. Okay, but if I rely only to teach you guys, okay, I rather practice myself to all do this kind of stuff, okay. My kind of level, kind of understanding and knowledge are going to be in this part only there, right? Okay, I will talk only the thing that I know for the past few years only there. Okay? I didn't upgrade myself there. So we have to be more passionate enough to work because for me, like I don't know about other people's, okay, my life is all about creating something visually. I'm really passionate to work on that. So if you really want to challenge other people's or you want to overcome basically this kind of challenge, create your own portfolios there. And nowadays, basically, I always encourage my students to apply, to submit basically your works of their works basically into social medias. Because that's the way basically you can get connected with your audience there, okay? And create some networks and try to basically to see other people work at the same time, okay? Even though nowadays you still can go to galleries, okay, to what we call the engage with more further informations to update basically your art knowledge, right? Okay. At the same time, you can actually browse any kind of network application, right? From there, okay. What we call the any kind of network social media, there, okay, to engage with other people from the industry that get works. And even though our lectures right here, okay, all of them basically have all this kind of experience there, right? Okay. You just have try to chat and ask them basically, okay, or try to give bit more kind of what we call the commitments, okay, to develop your personal kind of works from here. And I even my student that I have right here, graphic design students, they're working with the game concept styles that okay. So I asked them basically to work with the AI at the same times to mix up basically the ideations for your presentations. All right, that's basically the things, okay. Always upgrade yourself, update yourself, and create your own personal projects. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, enough, okay, to develop your kind of ideations. Even though if you love photography, okay, you actually can step and explore all these kind of possibilities right nowadays. All right. So all those kind of key assets on your application or whatever that you want, using technologies, basically you can actually get nowadays very fast there, okay? Even though right now when I start using basically this application there, right, I felt, but I'm not going to be practiced along the way, okay, all the time, okay, but I felt if I want to get a fast result on my kind of visuals, I can use AI applications there from scratch there, okay, into the final works. So I really waiting to work on that. But at this stage, I really want to make some benefit and profit also at the same times. Profit in a way for the student itself, for the faculties, and of course to the mass audience there, right? Okay, using basically all these kind of explorations there. All right, okay, Chiton. Hopefully, I answered the questions for you. Anyone else there?
Okay, maybe we can have one more question if anyone wants to ask. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, no more questions. Okay, if there are no further questions, we have reached the conclusion of our sharing session. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Faizal for delivering such an insightful talk on AI-generated visuals. Your presentation has provided valuable insights into an important aspect of the industry. I would also like to extend my gratitude to every one of you, okay, for your participation. The success of sessions like this depends on your active engagement, and we truly value your contribution. I hope the insights shared today will be beneficial to all of you, okay, including myself. With that, we officially conclude today's webinar. Thank you once again for being part of this enriching experience, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Okay, thank you everyone for participation there, okay? I really appreciate that, okay? I see you guys around, okay, in the futures there, right? Bye.
Believers up it's only so much between your brothers, and fear of Allah that you'll never see. A symphony of colors, silence far too soon. Your canvas weeps beneath a mournful moon. A brother, a friend, a talent so refined, leaving behind a legacy forever enshrined. Classrooms filled with dreams, our paths first intertwined. Teacher and student, but a bond we soon defined. You sought solace in art, a refuge from the storm. Spring can's your weapon against the world that's seen the scorn. Our greatest glory is not in never falling. Confucius wisely said, but in rising every time we fall. You faced every hardship with courage standing tall, turning concrete jungles into murals that enthrall. Streetlights illuminate your masterpieces untold. Each stroke a testament to a spirit brave and bold. You chased your artistic truth with passion as your guide, and in the depths of struggle, your true self you did confide. A symphony of colors, silence far too soon. Your canvas weeps beneath a mournful moon. A brother, a friend, the town is so refined, leaving behind a legacy forever enshrined. But fate, a cruel conductor with a symphony in mind, played a somber melody, leaving us behind. The pain of your absence, a wound that cuts so deep, a constant reminder of promises we couldn't keep. Our soul was proclaimed, yet is washing the dust of daily life of our souls. Just a cleansing rain, a story untold. choice I take. Though grief may linger, your light will never cease. A masterpiece unfinished, but your soul